Hi everyone, this is Brooke Skidmore with Awaken Horizon. Today is Monday, June 29th, and I used to work with a team a few years ago who one year they decided that their team motto, their team mission was going to be embrace the suck. And I don't think they invented that phrase. I don't think they created it. I know of other teams and athletes who have chosen to kind of adopt that mindset, but I think that there's value in having that type of mindset going into a season or a practice or a business adventure. We know that most of the time change doesn't happen without a struggle. And so what happens when instead of avoiding the struggle or avoiding challenges, instead we welcome them, and maybe we even welcome them with gratitude. It reminds me of a client I used to train years ago in a program called Cancer Fit. It was a program for cancer survivors. And one of my very favorite clients his name was George, and George had just overcome stomach cancer. And so now he was with me in this personal training program, and we were working on his fitness, regaining strength, regaining balance, and his ability to do daily life tasks. And I remember that there were things that we did that were challenging, lifting weights, cardio, things that most people would kind of shy away from. And George did it. He did anything that was on his program with courage and with a good attitude. And the one thing that he really struggled with kind of surprised me, which was at the end of every workout, we would stretch together. Usually it was on the floor, maybe we're using straps or towels to kind of assist with the stretches. Most of the time for a lot of my clients, the stretching portion is the most enjoyable. It's kind of the end of the workout, it's relaxing. But for George, stretching was a struggle. And there were times when I noticed him, that's when the most shaking was going on, whatever body part he was stretching, his legs or his arms. That's the time when he was the most quiet. He was focusing the most. Sometimes I saw a little tear trickle out of his eye. And but he knew that he needed that. He knew that he needed that struggle in order to be more flexible, in order to be able to do the things he wanted to do every day. And so he still did it. He still tried his hardest and still did the stretching. And most of us know, and I tell my clients all the time, that especially with stretching, you have to take your stretches to a point of discomfort. If I don't take it to that point where it's feeling a little uncomfortable, it's feeling tight, and kind of hold it in that spot, why would my body ever change? The same goes with lifting weights. If I'm not lifting weights that feel challenging, that feel like by the end of my set, it's hard to get those last few reps in, the body has no reason to change. It has no reason to make adaptations unless it's pushed to the point where it's like, okay, I need to do something. I need to change something in order to handle this extra weight or this extra stretch. So I think it's important to adopt that kind of mindset even in our challenges in our sport or in our business or in our relationships, that instead of kind of shying away from or avoiding those things that are challenging, we embrace them. Just like my team, they embraced those things that were hard because they knew that hard things would make them stronger and better competitors and better performers. And just to give another example, you might have heard of a man named Porter Ellett. You might notice something interesting about him in this picture. He's an NFL coach's assistant, and he lost the use of his right arm in an accident at age 4, and then had it surgically removed at age 16. And most people, when they notice like a disability like Porter has, our first thoughts often go to, wow, all the negatives, how hard it must be, all the things he can't do, and all the things that must be a struggle in his daily life. But it's interesting, Porter has a completely opposite view, and if you read or look him up, you'll learn that his attitude is that missing or losing his right arm has actually made him a more creative problem solver. To him, it's not about what he can't do. It's about finding a way to do all the things he needed to do and wanted to do even. So think about missing a right arm and driving a stick shift, which he does. Think about missing your right arm and swimming in a straight line. Think about trying to tie a shoe with only one arm. And even his parents, as he was growing up, they noted that they were loving to him but not very sympathetic, and they wanted him to struggle so that he could figure out a way, so he could find a way to do what he needed to do. And he did. He excelled in sports, even basketball, baseball. Think about trying to, like, how would you catch, if you're an outfielder, how would you catch a ball and then throw it to the infield? He actually perfected the skill of, they called it a let me get it right here. His quick glove flip technique, where he would catch the ball, flip it in the air, and throw his glove on the ground, catch the ball in his hand, and then throw it to the infield. So all of these things that most of us would say, oh, that's impossible, why even try? He found a way to do the things he loved, to still have fun, and to still be really successful. He could even bat at 400. Imagine trying to do that. Even sometimes for the average person, that's a challenge. So maybe we kind of focus on that this coming week and into this next season, approaching challenges with gratitude, with instead of trying to avoid them or push them away, we embrace the suck, just like the team. Whether it's in a practice that's really hard, whether you're working on your fitness, trying to do things each day to exercise that they don't really feel that good yet. Maybe you're making a big presentation to a ton of people and you're super nervous, would rather not be there, but you do it anyway because you know if you get through this presentation, the next one and the next one are going to feel easier and easier. So let's all try that this coming week. Whatever you're doing this week that's challenging and maybe a struggle, we approach those things with that mindset of being grateful for those challenges, knowing that as we struggle, we get better, we get stronger, and our performance improves. Good luck with that. Have a great week, everyone.